If you look at the score without actually watching the game, you might have thought Egypt were lucky. We scraped a 1-1 draw against a mighty Belgium side, ninth best team in the world in their golden generation led by their greatest ever player, Kevin De Bruyne. But the reality could not be further from the truth. Egypt were the better side. We created the better opportunities, and we largely neutralized Belgium's attacking potential and overcome their powerful midfield and their overflanking wingbacks. What held us back was ultimately a fear of failure, a lack of ambition, and the lack of belief in our own qualities. There is absolutely no doubt that this Egyptian squad's largest weakness is our inexperienced, defensive, conservative, and mediocre coaching staff, led by our legendary greatest ever goal scorer, Hossam Hassan. Legendary player, but a mediocre, unimaginative coach that has failed to prove himself in any of his previous roles. However, you know what? Let's talk about the positives first, because there's a lot of positives to talk about. This was Egypt's best ever performance at a World Cup, perhaps tied with 1-1 draw against Netherlands in 1990, who were a very dominant Netherlands team at the time. But it was an excellent defensive performance in that first half. We restricted them from having a shot on target, neutralized Doku excellently by Mohamed Hany, and above all, we were an incredible threat in transition. Relentless threat actually in transition, through Salah acting like a station with Emam Ashour and Mustafa Ziko, causing havoc to their defense and ultimately relieving so much pressure on our combative defensive unit. This is the key. This is the strategic key that allowed us to be so successful in this game for such long durations, is our transitional play and our ability to exert an attacking threat on them. This is what allowed us to reset and allowed us to continue to be a great defensive force, something that will become very important later in the game. And this culminated in the greatest goal we've ever scored in the World Cup. Great pass from birthday boy Salah, one touch take, one touch finish to Emam Ashour, breaks Thibaut Courtois' neck. Excellent goal that we'll be talking about for decades to come. He becomes the fourth ever Egyptian goal scorer at the World Cup, not including own goals, unfortunately. It's actually really funny. We've had four goal scorers at the World Cup for us, and 2 goal scorers were own goals. So it's insane. Ahmed Fathi in 2018 and now Mohamed Hany. But you know what? Overall, the first half was stupendous, flawless, barring maybe Omar Marmoush struggling to get in the game. Our performance continued in the second half. We still continued to be dominant. We continued to be an attacking threat. We even brought Omar Marmoush much more into play with great balls in behind from Salah. Continued to be a threat, and the most pivotal moment in the game came in that 55th minute, after a Salah header was parried over by Thibaut Courtois, falling excellently, deliciously to Emam Ashour, ready to get his brace, maybe a European move by the end of the game. But no, he produces the worst shot you'll see this World Cup that ultimately ends in a throw-in. This was the opportunity. This shot with the goal gaping open was the key moment in this game. Had we scored that goal, we'd be 2-0 up with 35 minutes to go, and there would be no doubt in our ability to see it through, especially with Hossam Hassan's strategic or defensive proclivities. But you know what? We're still doing great. The changes came in the 61st minute, or after that too, when Rudi Garcia finally called on Belgium's greatest ever goal scorer, Romelu Lukaku. A player that was very thankful did not start the game from the beginning, because he was always going to be a threat. He was always going to wreak havoc along that back line. And as soon as he came on, dragged 2 players, caused a mistake from Mohamed Hany, an amateur mistake at that, to be fixated on the striker, and it completely ignored the ball, just hits him on the back foot and goes in. You know what? Unfortunate mistake. It's a minor blemish on an otherwise incredible performance from him. This is not why we lost or dropped those 2 points. The reason why we dropped those 2 points came after, from those substitutions from Hossam Hassan. We have played excellently all game to that moment. At 1-1, we are still the better team. We have the only shot on target Belgium had at that point was a simple pass that our keeper just had to pick up. That Mustafa Shabir just had to pick up a pass from KDB. But our substitutions left so much to be desired. We took out our 3 best attacking outputs, Emam Ashour, Mohamed Salah, and Mustafa Ziko, And you know what? You'd think you'd replace them with equally creative players that can continue to relieve pressure and exploit the spaces that will be left by Belgium as they try and get their second. But no, we bring in a centre-back, midfielder who is far from his best and has been out of form. And frankly, I'm not even sure he should be in the squad at all, in Zizou. And Egypt's youngest ever World Cup player, Hamza Abdelkarim, who is an incredible talent, plays for Barcelona under 19. Hopefully we'll see him in the first team this year, but he's never played a minute of professional, international, competitive football before today. These changes left so much to be desired, and these changes were completely strategic blunders that left us for the last 25 minutes of the game unable to create a single chance. We've had to resort to our centre-back, Fathi, be the one lumping crosses in, or Fatouh. All the crosses left so much to be desired. We were no longer an attacking threat, and all we did was invite pressure from Belgium, from their dominant midfield, and we gave KDB more space with the ball to be able to create. Thankfully, they weren't able to create much, but this is it. This is the key point here in why we dropped these 2 points. We dropped these 2 points because of our lack of ambition and our lack of ability to understand that we're not in it for 1 point, we're in it for the win, and above all, we should be in it to top this group. We have showed so many positives in a game like this, and it's imperative that we continue to carry this forward into the next games. There's so much positive to learn from this game, and ultimately, our best opportunity to win our first ever World Cup game will come in a few days' time in Vancouver against New Zealand. It's frankly embarrassing to say that we have the record as the nation that's played the most World Cups without winning a single game. There is no country on planet Earth that has a larger disparity between its continental performance, being African champions 7 times, kings of Africa 7 times, yet unable to win a single World Cup game in 4 appearances. I know this year will be different, and I believe we will beat New Zealand despite it being a difficult match as we saw against Iran. But ultimately, what's imperative is that we continue carrying that ambition and we take the confidence from this game. We were not bested by Belgium. We ultimately donated 2 points to them by our defensive proclivity, by our defensive structure, and by ultimately not wanting to push forward and not wanting to risk getting that transitional goal, which was the best choice. It was always going to be the best choice to both protect that 1-1 scoreline and to secure a second and perhaps top this group. This tournament is such an incredible opportunity for teams at the level of this Egyptian team. So this is an Egyptian team that can easily make it to the quarterfinal if they top this group and they get a favorable draw in that bracket. But if we continue playing the way we are, if we continue playing for best of third places qualification, all we are hoping for is a round of 32. So stay tuned for more content, and I'm optimistic that our first win will come in a few days' time, and we're just on the precipice of qualification after so many positives to learn from this game. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you later.